Hello students, welcome back to our channel Food Tech Online. So today will be our 6th class on important questions of GATE Food Technology subject. So now let us begin. Following tells the significance of crystallization in food processing. Option A, consistence of food emulsion. Option B, a good feel of food inside the mouth. Option C, the physical stability of food. And option D, all of the mentioned. So the correct option is option number D, that is all of the mentioned. तो एक सिग्निफिकेंस क्या होता है क्रिस्टलाइजेशन का इन फूड इंडस्ट्री में कि इट प्रोवाइड्स अ कंसिस्टेंसी ऑफ फूड एमल्शन फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल. दूसरा है कि ये एक गुड फील देता है माउथ में. एंड सेकेंडली इट प्रोवाइड्स अ फिजिकल स्टेबिलिटी टू द फूड. सो ऑल दीज आर द करेक्ट आंसर्स फॉर द significance of crystallization in food processing. Option number D. Question 2. Statement 1. Crystallization is both a mass and heat transfer operation. Statement 2. The crystals and mother liquor obtained from a crystallizer are option A true and nucleation, option B false and solid residue, option C true and magma, option D false and crystal growth. So the statement statement 1 is saying that crystallization is both a mass and heat transfer operation. So this statement is true. So since that involves the formation of solid crystals from a homogeneous solution. So this statement is true. Next, statement 2, the crystals and mother liquor obtained from a crystallizer are called. So these are known as magma. Hence, option number C is correct. Question 3. Statement 1. Smaller particles dissolve as they have a larger surface area and larger particles grow. Statement 2. The above process is called Oswald ripening. Options are A. True, false, true, true, false, false and false, true. So the correct answer is option number B, that is true, true. So statement 1 says smaller particles dissolve as they have larger surface area and larger particles they'll grow. इसका मतलब क्या है कि smaller the particles they will have large surface area per unit volume to cover, which will make them more susceptible to dilution. So क्या होगा, as a result the smaller the particles the dissolved materials is deposited onto the larger particles and which will make them to grow. So statement 1 true है. And statement 2 है means this process is known as Oswald ripening. So statement true is also true. So my correct option B is correct. Number 4. Parameters affecting crystallization are A. Agitator speed, B. Population density, C. Purity of solution and D. All of the mentioned. So the correct answer is all of the mentioned. क्योंकि agitator speed, population density and purity of solution, these all affects the crystallizations. So since we also know that this agitator speed, it affects the rate of nucleation and the crystal growth, while population density, what happens in population density, it affects the rate of nucleation and crystal size distribution. And the number C, that is the purity of solution, this purity of solution, it will affect the solubility of the solute and the rate of the crystal growth. So hence all of the mentioned option is correct. Number 5. Which of the following facilitates crystallization? Options are A. Hot concentrated solution is cooled for crystals to form. B. Okay, the options are mismatched over here. Number B. Solution is concentrated by evaporation. C. Adiabatic evaporation and cooling. And D. All of the mentioned. So what will be the correct answer here? The correct option is number D, that is all of the mentioned. Since crystallization, actually crystallization क्या है? It is a process that involves the formations of solid crystals and it forms in a homogeneous solution. सो यहाँ पे बोल रहा है कि what facilitates the crystallization. So the process can be carried out by causing a physical changes like the change in temperature or a chemical change or changes like in acidities. So these three options, that is hot concentrated solution, solution in concentrated by evaporation, and adiabatic evaporation and cooling, these three methods mentioned in the options are commonly used in the crystallization process. So number D is correct. Number 6. What does excess supersaturating followed by cooling leads to? A. Primary nucleation, B. Secondary nucleation, C. Both nucleation and crystal growth in general, and D. None of the mentioned. So the correct option will be option number A, that is primary nucleation. So what exactly this excess supersaturating, it is followed by the cooling, it leads to primary nucleation. So ये primary nucleation actually होता क्या है कि it is a process which leads to the formation of new crystals from a supersaturating solution. So the rate of primary nucleation is affected by the factors. These factors can be like temperature or concentration, agitations, and so on. So the correct option will be option number A, that is primary nucleation. Number 7. The experimental details of batch sedimentation experiments are comprehended by plotting which of the following two. Options are A. Height of interface against time, B. Concentration of solid against time, C. Settling rate versus slurry concentration, and D. All of the mentioned. So the experimental details of batch sedimentations actually can be comprehended by plotting the height of interface against time. That is option number A is correct. This height of interface between the this height of interface against time is between the settled solids and the liquid, which is measured as a function of time. So here the option number A is correct. Number 8. Which of the following is an application of sedimentation in food industry? A. Effluent treatment plant. B. Settling of dusts on fruits. Effluent treatment plant and settling of dusts on fruits, and D. None of the mentioned. So the correct option, it will be option number C, that is effluent treatment of plants and settling of dusts on fruit. Actually, the sedimentation, it is a widely used process in food industry for separating dirt, debris, or any other incoming raw material crystals from the mother liquor or the dusts or products of the particles or from the air streams. So both over here, option number C is correct. That is effluent treatment plant and settling of dust on fruit. Question number 9. Statement 1. In broth, centrifuge, and sedimentation, the terminal velocity of the particle is reached after a certain time. Statement 2. The formula used for finding out the velocity is the same for both the processes. Options are A true true, A true false, B true true, C false false, and D false true. So here the correct option will be option number D, that is false true. So option number 1, what is it is saying that in broth centrifuge, the sedimentation, the terminal velocity of the particle is reached after a certain time. So actually in centrifugation, what happens, the terminal velocity of a particle is characterized by its sedimentation coefficients, which is defined, it is as a rate of ratio of particles sedimentation velocity to the applied acceleration causing the sedimentation. So the statement, it is over here, it's false, whereas the formula which is used for finding out the velocity is same for both the process. This statement is true. So the correct option will be option number D, that is false and true. Number 10. Statement 1. In a dairy industry, it is desired to obtain the cream from milk using a centrifuge which will stay in the center. Statement 2. It is desired to have dash for the above process. So here the option number A, that is cream and a small neutral zone, is correct. Actually, this statement, that is cream, this option, that is cream and a small neutral zone, it is correct, since the neutral zone area में क्या होता है, this neutral zone area, it should be around the towards the periphery of the applications, like in clarifier, where the components are to be separated in the denser particles of the dusts or the external, these denser particles can be like dust or any other extraneous matters, so it should be towards the periphery. So the correct answer will be option number A, that is cream and the neutral zone. Number 11. The area of neutral zone in a centrifuge is A, between heavy and light liquid, B, next to the light liquid and away from the heavy liquid, C, next to the heavy liquid and away from the light liquid, and D, above the heavy liquid and below the light liquid. So the correct option is option number A, that is between the heavy and the light liquid. Actually, what happens in the neutral zone in a centrifuge, the region where the centrifugal force is acting on the light and the heavy liquid, that will be equal, the sum will be equal, hence what will happen, hence there will be no net force acting on either of them, and this zone is even located next to the heavy liquid and away from the light liquid. So over here option A is correct, that is between the heavy and the light liquid. Question number 12. Statement 1. The radius of neutral zone depends on the radius of the centrifuge. Statement 2. More is the radius, lesser is the zone of centrifuge. Option A, true, false, B, true, true, C, false, false, and D, false, true. So option number A, that is true, and second statement is false. Since this is true, since the radius of the neutral zones decreases as the discharge radius of the heavier liquid is more smaller, and this means that the radius of the neutral zone, it is inversely proportional to the radius of the centrifuge, hence option number A is correct. Question number 13. Statement 1. Tubular bowl centrifuges can handle slurries, and statement 2. Tubular bowl centrifuges can be used for three-phase separation. Options are A, true, false, B, true, true, C, false, false, and D, false, true. So option number A is correct, that is statement 1 is true and statement 2 is false. So the tubular bowl centrifuges are a type of centrifuge that can handle the slurries. That means they use these centrifugal force to separate solids from the liquids. Whereas this statement 2, tubular bowl centrifuges, these are not used for the three-phase separations, whereas others like disc stack centrifuges, these are used for the three-phase separation. So option number A is the statement 2 is false. So option number A is correct, that is true, false. Next, which food industry is centrifuge not used in? So options are A, savory and snack foods, B, sugar industries, C, dairy processings, and D, none of the mentioned. So over here not is saying, that means question number D, that is none of the mentioned. Since centrifuge, it is widely used in food industries for various purposes, say for clarification of milk or skimming of milk, or it can be for ways or concentration of creams, or production recovery cases in cheese making industries, for lactose or protein processings in beverage industries, in fruit juice industries, and many more. So the correct option will be option number D, that is none of the mentioned. Since these centrifuges, there are wide use of these centrifuges in food industry. Number 15. Which of the following condition shows that a certain industrial mixer is the best? So the followings are the factors. Options are A, power and power load for mixing is minimum, B, standard deviation is minimum, time required for mixing is minimum, and D, all of the mentioned. So the correct option will be option number D, that is all of the mentioned. Since this time required for mixing is minimum, this means that this is an important factors to consider, that it can reduce in the production time, or it can increase in the efficiency of the processing. Whereas this power load for mixing, it is minimum, this means that this is also another point which can be considered as a factor to consider, since it can reduce the energy energy consumption, or it can reduce the operation costs during the food processing. Whereas option number B, that is standard deviation, is minimum. This means that it is a measure which can be used for the variations in mixing process. Say when there is a low standard deviation, what happens, this means that this indicates that the mixing process is consistent and it is reliable. Since all the mentioned points are minimum, that means these all factors are best suited for the industrial mixers. So option number D is correct, that is all of the mentioned. Number 16. The force used for mixing by mixing equipments for pastas and dough is A. Centrifugal smearing, B. Impact, C. Tumbling, and D. All of the mentioned. So the correct option will be option number D, that is all of the mentioned. So in centrifugal smearing, what happens? The force which is generated by rotating of the mixing bowls or the containers. So it is commonly used during the planetary mixtures or during other types of mixtures that has a rotating containers. Whereas in impacts, what happens, the force is generated by the collision of the mixing elements within the mixtures. So it is commonly used in the high shear mixtures or any other types of sharp blades mixtures. Whereas in tumbling, the force is generated by rolling or tumbling of the mixtures within the mixing containers. So over here all the options are correct, so option number D is correct. Number 17. The clearance between the impeller and the vessel in a mixer is usually kept by dash. Options are A high, B low, C cannot be determined, and D none of the mentioned. So the correct option is option number B, that is low. So the clearance between the impeller and the vessel in a mixture, it depends on the specific type of mixtures and the desired outcomes. However, in general we can say that this clearance between the impeller and the vessels is usually kept low. So this is because as the low clearance, it helps to increase the mixing efficiencies, or it reduces the power consumptions of the mixtures. This clearance even the clearance even between the impeller and the vessels should be as small as possible without causing any mechanical interfaces between the impellers as well as the mixtures. So the option number B is correct. Number 18, statement 1. Kneaders are specially used for pastry viscous liquids in the food industries, and statement 2. Kneaders are used for mixing doughs and fats with fats and making them homogeneous mixtures. So options are A true false, B true true, C false false, and D false true. So correct option will be option number B, that is true true. So actually kneaders, they are type of mixtures that can be used in the food industries for mixing doughs, pastries, or other viscous materials. So this statement 1 is correct. And whereas these kneaders are designed to mix doughs with fats and make them homogeneous mixtures, since they are particularly useful for mixing of the doughs and they are difficult to mix with other types of mixtures. So the other statement, that is statement number 2, is also correct. That so number B, that is true true. So question number 19. Which of the following is an advantage of size reduction? A. Enhanced heat mass transfer. B. Intimate contact with certain food items. C. Both, that is enhanced heat mass transfer and intimate contact with certain food items. And D. None of the mentioned. So option number C, that is enhanced heat mass transfer and intimate contact with certain food items, since this is an advantage of the size reduction. Next, number 20. Question number 20. Statement 1. Dispersion of one immiscible liquid into another involves size reduction, and statement 2. Leaching requires size reduction. So statements are true, false, true, true, false, false, and false, true. So option number B, that is both the statements are correct. So option number B is correct. Number 21. Which of the following is not a method used for size reduction? So over here it is saying not a method. Options are cutting, B impact, C burning, and D shear. So over here option number B, that is burning, it is not a method for size reduction. Next, number 21. Number 22. A jaw crusher uses A compression, B smear, C cutting, and D none of the mentioned. So option number A is correct, that a jaw crusher, it uses the compression force. Number 23. A ball mill uses options are A. Impact, B. Attrition, C. Impact and attrition, and D. None of the mentioned. So option number C, that is it uses impact as well as attrition. So a ball, what is actually a ball mill? It is a type of a grinder which is used to grind or blend materials. Okay, so it actually gives the impact as well as the attrition to that particles. Question number 24. Which of the following uses attrition? A. Ball mill, B. Plate mill, C. Roller mill, and D. All of the mentioned. So option number D, that is all of the mentioned. It uses attritions. So attritions actually they are used to grind, which can require the combinations of forces, say centrifugal force or the grinding medias, and the attrition even reduces the materials. So the correct option will be option number D, that is all of the mentioned. Question number 25. Which of the following does not include the application of material handling and transportation in food processing? Options are A. Fruits and vegetable processing, B. Cereal and pulses processing, C. Spices and condiments processing, and D. All of the mentioned. So the correct option will be option number D, that is all of the mentioned, since they include these all includes the application of material handling and transportation. So that's why number D is correct. Okay, with this we have completed our 25 question answer series of food technology subject. And if you like our channel, do like and subscribe and share with your friends, and other social media links are given in the description box. You can follow those. And till then, enjoy learning and thank you.